I bet you didn't know there's a built-in spell check in Excel. How about a shortcut to clear all number formatting from a sheet? Even better, there's a shortcut to copy entire tabs across different Excel files. So in this video, we're going over 20 Excel shortcuts you probably didn't know. Let's get into it. First up, we've got some navigation and selection shortcuts, and for this we're working with this Excel dataset where let's suppose that we're looking to go to row number 300, so it might take quite a bit of time by scrolling down. Instead, the shortcut you can use is just going to this name box up on the top left, and here we just type the cell we want. So we want, let's say 300, so I'm gonna put A300, hit enter there, and it takes us there automatically. How easy is that? Now in the second shortcut, suppose we're on a specific cell, like let's say up over here under this Austin cell, but we want to check some data towards the bottom. Now if we want to go ahead and go all the way back up, instead the shortcut there is Ctrl backspace, basically just takes you all the way back to where you were before. So I can be on this cell over to the side now and Ctrl backspace and it takes me back there. So far we've been looking at a specific row or a specific column, but what if we want a type of cell? For example, any empty cells? Well, for that there is also a shortcut, so we first need to press Ctrl A to select that whole area, and then the shortcut is Ctrl G. That's the go-to special feature, so just click on that special button, and from here, let's suppose that we're looking for all of our blank values, if there are any. Press on OK, and you'll notice it's selected this one, it's also selected some other ones, and to have them stand out a bit, we can always just add something like a yellow fill, that's gonna add it for all. And if you know you want to type something like NA on all of them, just go to the formula bar, type NA once, and hit Ctrl Enter. That's gonna type it in for all of the empty values, as you can see. Next up, in number 4, if you want to select a specific range, typically you might think of just using the mouse and dragging it all the way to wherever you need. That is a bit tedious. Instead, a much easier way is to go from the top cell you want to select all the way to, let's say we want down over here. Just press the Shift key and click on it. That's gonna select all of it. So again, just by pressing the Shift key at the same time, you're able to select all of the areas in between two parts. You can see right here, I can go over to the side if I want more columns. That's just pressing the Shift key instead of having to click and drag all the way to where you need. Now to move specific cells, you might think of using Ctrl C, Ctrl V. That's obviously quite tedious as you then need to delete the original. Instead, obviously there's Ctrl X and Ctrl V. So what that does is cut it. But instead of that two-step process, you can also just hover over it. And you see it changes to these arrows that are pointing all directions. When that's the case, we can actually just drag it and let it go like that. So when those arrows show up, we can basically move it anywhere we want. So that's the same thing as that cut feature with Ctrl X. And in this case, we did it for one cell, but we can also do it for multiple that we've selected just by switching it to the arrow there. And you can see that happens. The part that is a bit tedious and you need to be precise about is making sure you're using the right type of arrow. So just hover to the right area for that. Often with these large data sets, it's useful to have some kind of a filter mechanism. And for this, typically people go over to sort and filter and choose a filter. The shortcut for that is simply Ctrl Shift L. That adds those drop downs, as you can see. And now I can say sort A to Z, Z to A. I can even go ahead and choose a specific category that I'm looking for, and this applies to all of these ranges. When working with large data sets, instead of just being limited inside of Excel, what if you could turn a spreadsheet into an actual app? Using Glide, you can actually turn your dataset into an AI-powered app in seconds without having to write any code. For example, here I've uploaded the spreadsheet I've been working with, and I can write a short prompt like create a sales dashboard, and Glide will automatically start generating an app for me in a professional layout. It looks great on any device, including tablet and phone, and I can customize it further. Glide also allows you to connect your data across spreadsheets or databases, so your dashboard is always in sync. Plus, you can easily add features like forms, filters, and user logins to make the app fully interactive. As you can see, this is a super impressive tool, so if you want to try it out, head over to the link in the description below, and thanks to Glide for sponsoring this video. Going back to the dataset here, remember we have these arrows using the filter, but instead of having to click every time to select them, you can actually use the Alt down arrow. that basically opens up any kind of drop down. Even better, if I'm adding some data on the very bottom, let's say, I can press the Alt down arrow again, and it basically takes from all of the options above, whichever I would like to add from there, even creates a nice drop down for me. When there's less options here, like male, female, or NA, I only see these three. Next up, we've got formatting shortcuts, and one of the questions I get asked the most is how do I go from having a number to having a number with an X with that multiple at the end? The key here in this file, you can see I have the one for millions converted like this, the one for multiples, and even for negative values with the parentheses. So first, let's go over this multiple one. So I've got 12.4 and I want to add an X. For this, go to Ctrl 1. That's gonna open up the format cells pop-up, and from here go over to custom, and this is where we can make any changes. So I can go for that 0.00 and just add an X at the end. That's basically gonna give me that multiple option, which is what we want right there. If you don't want that extra decimal, go back in it and just remove that extra zero like that. On top of that, if you also want to add those negative parentheses, let me show you how that's done. I'm just gonna press Ctrl 1 here, and you can see the formatting that I'm using for it. So I've got this semicolon in between, and then for anything that's negative, I want it in those parentheses. And you might be wondering, how do you go about doing that millions? As you can see up top over here, we have 2.5 M for that 2.5 million. And if we look inside of the cell, it is indeed 2.5 million. So it's simply a formatting thing. Let's press Ctrl 1 to investigate that further. You can see the first part looks pretty normal, but then we've got these 2 commas and a backdash. The 2 commas is basically one for the thousands and the other one for the millions. So if I were to remove one, it would change things to K. So now if I change this to a K, it would be 2500K, which is the same as 2.5 million. Once you have the right formatting, how do you actually paste it across all of your cells? Well, one of the easiest ways to do that, like let's suppose we want all of these in millions like this cell, is by using this format painter. Click on that once, you'll see it selected, and now just click on any cell to make that conversion. But you have to do it every time, which is pretty tedious. Instead, you can actually double click on it and this keeps it selected. So I can do this cell, this next one, the next one. And if you ever want to get out of it, you can just press the escape key. And now even if I click somewhere else, it's not gonna change it. That said, what if you regret that choice and you actually just want to clear all of the formattings from your file? Well, for that, let's suppose we select this entire area right here, and all we need to do is press Ctrl Shift and the tilde sign. Now you can see it's defaulted back to the original formatting. Same thing down below, Ctrl Shift tilde, and that removes all your number formatting. For the last tip of this formatting section, just going back to the original dataset we were working with, let's suppose that we're looking for any typos in some of these words. Well, Excel has a little known shortcut, which is F7, that's going to open up the spelling. So you can see here, for instance, it's detected that Mexico is probably not typed correctly. Let's go for this one and go for change. And then same thing here, it's got fashion with an E instead of an A, which is detected. So we can easily change that to fashion instead. How awesome is that? And now moving up to the viewing section, over here we have a separate file. As you can see, we have the data split into Q1, Q2, etc. So maybe we just want to get rid of these months. I might right click on them, on these rows, and go to hide. The problem with hiding like that is that it's not obvious it's actually there, right? It's not very obvious here that we have 3 months hidden inside, especially if you're new to the file. So instead, a better practice is to select all these 3 rows and then just use Alt Shift and arrow to the right to open it up and arrow to the left if you don't want it. So Alt Shift, arrow to the right, same thing over here, Alt Shift, arrow to the right. And now I can either open and close them from here on the side. This is always visible, or I can open them all at once. So I can do number 2 for opening and number 1 for closing them. And it's very obvious that there's something going on here. This thing also works for the top columns, so I can go to Alt Shift and right arrow again, or left arrow if I want to get rid of that. But that works in the same way for columns. Now let's go over one of my favorite and I think one of the most useful shortcuts. So suppose we've got 2 tabs, View 1 and View 2, and we're trying to see what the difference is between these two. So it's very tedious to have to go back and forth between them. Instead, what we can do is head over to View and click on New Window. What this does is it's gonna open up the exact same Excel file side to side. So if there is any changes, let's suppose I change this top number to 50K. Now, if I go over to view number 2, that's going to be synced as well. But the nice thing here is that we can always see them side by side, so I can clearly compare the two and check if there's any differences between them. When you're working with Excel files that have multiple tabs, I find it pretty annoying if they have different levels of zoom. So for instance, this one right here is at the scale of 115. This next one is much more zoomed out, and this one over on this side is so much more zoomed in. So instead of having to go one by one and changing the zoom settings from here, what you can do is first select all of the tabs. So I'm gonna go over here and click on select all sheets. Once I do that, on the bottom right, I can just click on that zoom amount and say I want them all at 130. Hit enter there, you'll notice it's updated this one, but also all of the other ones are at 130. And if you ever want to copy a specific sheet into a new Excel file entirely, there's a few ways to do that, but probably the fastest is just by taking it. So let's suppose I have this view 1 that I want to copy into this new Excel file. I'm just going to press the Ctrl key and drag that across to the new sheet. How cool is that? So all it's done there is created a duplicate. The more manual way to do this is right click, go over to move or copy, and I can say create a copy in a new worksheet. In this case, it's called in book 1. Press on OK, and you'll see it's created that second copy there. Next up in this viewing section, suppose that we really like this particular table and we want to add it to our dashboard tab. So the problem here is that you don't really want to just take a screenshot of it, because if the original data updates, it's not going to update in the screenshot, right? So what you want to do is press on this camera icon, which I'll show you how to install in a second. First, I'm going to select the whole area, press on it, and then just paste it over to the side. You can see this is basically an image, but the nice part about it is that it's actually fully dynamic. So if I change this figure to a 5, you'll notice that's updated. Even the sum over here has updated. So I think this is a really cool feature that you can move across separate sheets in your Excel file. And to install it, you just need to go to this drop down on the top left, and here go to more commands. Up here, we want to select on all commands and choose a camera. So I can scroll down and try to find the camera. It's right here, and then click on add. Of course, I already have it, so I'm not going to add it again, but I think you get the idea of how to install it. It's really super easy to use. Just select an area and press the camera icon, press anywhere else, and it's going to paste it right there. The final shortcut in this section is Ctrl Q. Let me show you what that does. Over here, suppose we take these 3 months of data and press Ctrl Q. That basically opens up this whole formatting area where I can add things like data bars, color scales. I can also choose to insert charts with the data that I've selected, even get the totals like the averages here or the sums, as you can see previewed on the bottom there. Even better, I can choose some spark lines over on the side there to see the trend across different months. Obviously in this case it's not that applicable, but I think you see just how versatile this Ctrl Q can be. Finally, the last set of shortcuts are formula related. Let's have a look at what we've got over here. And firstly, you can see that I have some data for the month of February here that's simply calculated by using the January figure and multiplying that by the growth rate of 3%. So you might think of either just dragging it with the mouse, so I can drag that along with the mouse like that. That's one way, or doing Ctrl C and then Ctrl V all the way there to the side. But actually, most Excel pros are using a different one, which is just Ctrl R to drag that to the right and Ctrl D to drag that down, as you can see right here. So again, it's Ctrl R for the right and Ctrl D for down. This shortcut makes it that bit faster than doing Ctrl C and Ctrl V every time, because you just have to use one key instead. Next up in this income statement, let's suppose that I want to find out which of these cells have formulas. And for that, I can use the Control key with this sign that I forget what it's called, but I'll add it here just so you can see. I think it might be an accent or something like that. And there you can see all of the formulas that we're using. And it looks like some of these figures are hard-coded, like the 1.1. So that's probably something worth checking again. So again, it's this control and this accent that makes it super easy to audit. And finally, a relatively basic one, but if you don't know, it's gonna save you a lot of time, is pressing the F2 key to get inside of any cell. Instead of having to double click every time and use your mouse, just press the F2 key and it's gonna do it a lot faster and you look a lot more professional as you're not using your mouse when in Excel. Other than learning this type of Excel shortcuts, you should stay up to date on the latest Excel formulas, which you can do with this video over here, or you can take our Excel course over here. Hit the like and the subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.